Hello, everybody, and welcome back to That Real Texas Team podcast, episode 57 here on the channel. I'm the host. You can find me over on this AFC South show, hosting all of the AFC South teams, talking in a big kind of dog pile event. Subscribe over there. With me, as always, my main man, Mike, at Mass3 Productions is where you can find him across all the social media platforms. On YouTube, go ahead and subscribe on there. Trying to grow his channel. Not with us this evening is Chris, aka Slim Chickens, aka the host of That's Crazy Podcast Talk. Go ahead, subscribe over there. Help our main man. Help Chris out. Let's try to grow everybody. We're AFC South champions, baby. Again,
yes, sir.
Back to back. The way it is every time we win the division, it is back to back. And eight is a good number. You know, for us, it's been very fortuitous, and you know, the last couple years have been, you know, I should say prior to CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans, that couple years stretch there, where the Titans won the division, or the Jags won the division, and it was just kind of shit, just constantly churning out shit. The Jags last year collapsing in a crazy way, starting at 1.8-3, finishing 8-9, or 9-8. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just full blown collapse. The Titans did it the year before. We didn't follow that track.
Well, in all honesty, from what we've seen from the Jags, what the end of last year is who they are.
Yeah.
It just is.
It's true.
Because this year it looked like that same thing just kept. Yeah, I know Trevor has some injuries here and there, but for the most part, that team was pretty damn healthy. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, they were pretty healthy. I know they were doing really weird rotations on their defensive line for a long period of the season. Like they'd let two plays happen and then switch out the entire defensive line. So nobody's getting into a rhythm or anything. And then the games where their defenses played the best, they let the best players just, you know, stay on the field. So who would have thunk? With that being said, though, I mean, at this point, in theory, by the Ravens game on Christmas, we could rest starters. Is that something you really want to do?
I don't think we want to. It might be. I might put some of these guys on a snap count or something like that. But being that our offense really has not found a rhythm since week 1.
Yeah.
It's been no real rhythm since a lot of these guys have been out. I don't think we can afford to start resting guys. If anybody, maybe Joe Mixon.
Yeah. Perhaps.
But CJ needs every snap he can get. He's got to get comfortable with his guys. It felt good this week to see him get comfortable with Xavier Hutchinson. That sighting, we haven't seen that in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
5? Since Mechie started being a player.
Yeah.
So,
well, look, let's go ahead and get into this Miami game, recap it. So Folo Fotokasi was an injured player that didn't come back. I think he was the only one who got hurt for us that didn't come back. We know Joe Mixon got hurt, got banged up, and then eventually returned.
Hip drop. I'm going to call it hip drop again.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much the only way people have been able to successfully by themselves bring him down. So, you know, it is what it is. But he is definitely a little injured, a little banged up after that. You know, we can't afford to miss him for the playoffs. If there is one player that I want to see on a snap count or not even on the field at all over maybe the last 2 weeks, it's definitely Joe Mixon. But I want to see him hit 1,000 yards on the ground, and
he earned it.
He did, and he's, you know, less than 100 yards away at this point. So, you know, it shouldn't be too much to ask for these final 3 games. But In this
Well,
Dolphins game, go ahead.
we've been asking to see a little bit more Dameon Pierce anyway.
Yeah.
Like Dameon Pierce has not touched the field on anything but returning kicks.
Yeah. I mean, hell, they had trying to think. I don't think another running back ran the ball, did they? Daria did on the fake punt.
Yeah. Ooh, that was that was the thing.
Yeah.
I think Damian, I know he went into the game for maybe 1 or 2 snaps, but I don't think he ran the ball when he was in there.
Yeah. No, I don't think he did. I think Joe Mixon was the only one who had a carry. So, that's kind of weird, but say la vie.
Yeah.
But beyond that, we've been trying to figure out some stuff with the, and they made some moves. Titus Howard played left guard, and Blake Fisher came in and played right tackle. And honestly, Blake Fisher had some really good plays. There were several snaps where Blake Fisher was probably the only one doing, he was probably doing the best job out of everybody. Titus Howard exposed like we thought he would, because left guard is typically his least productive position, but played well. Wasn't a great game, but it was better.
I would say that I had to ask myself as I was walking out of the stadium on Sunday. I was like, it wasn't a world-beating game by Titus Howard at left guard, but it still might have been better than what we've seen from Juice and Kenyon. So
yeah, improvement is so welcome at this point. I'm so sick of talking about the left guard position. If it takes Titus being a left guard for the offensive line to play better, I'm here for it.
He's already been paid.
Yeah, it's already been paid. And another thing is, when Blake Fisher got drafted, that's what we were talking about. This could be Titus Howard's right tackle replacement. And when he's come into play, he's played well. He's had some rookie mistakes, as all rookies tend to do, but he's played well. So I'm feeling fine if this offensive line trots out next week.
I am too. The only thing is like, because Blake Fisher did his job well and Titus held his own, it pointed out how bad Shaq Mason really is playing.
Yeah.
Because he did not have a good game. He didn't.
No.
But I think CJ is starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the pocket again, to where it's just a thing.
Yeah. I saw him step up in the pocket a few times and maneuver away from pressure. It feels like he's starting to settle down a little bit. Things aren't getting to him as much. And he's reading the field. That was definitely not CJ Stroud's best game by any stretch of the imagination. No. 18 of 26 for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. But both of those touchdowns came in the red zone, which is a place that we struggle to get points. And that's huge. That's huge. The defense set us up because the defense is fucking elite here. But the defense set us up real well. And they cashed in. And at this point, that's all I want to see. Like, I know that this team is not just going to be an offensive juggernaut like we hoped they would be coming into the year.
Not this year. Not this year.
Yeah. The defense is the crutch, and the team is just not very good. It just is what it is.
Like I said, it's a couple of different things I saw from this game. That there was a rotation at linebacker.
Yeah.
I saw Jake Hansen. I saw Devin White. Of course, I saw Harris County.
Oh, yeah.
Good old Christian Harris. Toa is still playing at a pretty high level. And even that guy that's going to be a professional wrestler when he calls it quits.
Mm-hmm. Neville Hewitt.
He was – I saw 5 linebackers play. What makes me sort of excited, because I was really getting a little nervous about when Azeez does come back, and he is going to come back, how do we get our 3 best linebackers on the field? How do we do that?
I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something out. But maybe we go to occasionally running like a 3-3-5 or something.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. Because I mean, it's a good problem to have. By all means, that's exactly a problem you do want to have, but it's also something I kind of anticipated a little bit with D'Amico Ryans playing the position and
Mhm.
playing damn well at it, mind you. I kind of figured that would be the room that took the most growth year over year, and that's holding true so far.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned earlier, the defense right now, there's not many other defenses in the league that you'd take over this team. Second in the league in sacks, first in pressures. I think we're second in interceptions. We have the leading, I believe he's leading with the most interceptions right now. Kalen Bullock's got 6. Stingley's got 5.
Mhm. And I
So I
think
mean,
Kamari still has 3.
yeah.
Look, I'm really trying to figure out why Kalen Bullock's not getting more conversation about that Defensive Rookie of the Year award.
I don't know. I think it's just because maybe he's not the marquee name, and that usually is the big bugaboo there. But
The numbers speak for themselves.
the numbers do speak for themselves. But maybe that'll be something that does work out towards the end here. And there's been some Kalen Bullock snafus, blown coverages early in
Rookie.
the season. Yeah, rookie, exactly.
He's a rookie.
But we came into this Dolphins game thinking, okay, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, and a healthy Tua. They're going to try to air this ball out as often as possible. They're going to try to run the ball against us. They could not run the ball against us for shit.
Nope.
Not even a little bit.
Without Photocopsy out there.
Yeah.
Tim Settle was a beast.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. The whole defense deserved the game ball yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
4 turnovers from Tua, 3 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. It was a beautiful thing to see. We were talking before the game. If we're going to win this game, you got to get constant pressure on Tua. You got to get him off his spot and off his rhythm. And you were saying that in a shitload of cover too, which is atypical for us.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks great. And what I'm knowing about, we all love our defense. I think our defense is top tier, top 3 for me personally. But the other thing that I'm thinking is wow. Every time they bring a quarterback in here and said they're not turning over the ball, we changed that. We changed that narrative real fast.
Yeah.
Jared Goff came into the building. Hey, he's throwing completions. He's not throwing interceptions. We get 5 off of that man.
Yep.
Tua's accurate. He's doing just what he needs to do. And exactly one of the other things that I said that he was going to do a lot is those damn screen passes. That's why his throwing percentage looks so high. He's throwing screen passes all day.
Yeah.
To his tight ends, to his running backs, to his receivers. But then we picked that man off 3 times, and the fumble was even on him. All 4 turnovers were on Tua.
Yeah. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. are both in the top 10 in sacks. If you did not know.
Money well spent.
Damn Skippy. I believe Danielle Hunter is leading by 1 whole sack with 11.5, and Will's got 10.5. And, not too far off the lead for Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson Jr. So time to catch up. But this defense played infinitely better than I expected. I expected the big play to Tyreek Hill or to Jalen Waddle, and it never really happened. Derek Stingley was in Tyreek Hill's hip pocket running, probably like Derek Stingley is in the middle of his healthiest season. He is playing his best ball, and he is cementing himself as a top flight corner in this league. There's
Let's keep
probably
it. Let's keep it real. He's getting himself paid.
oh yeah,
He's getting himself paid. Yeah.
and he's quickly turning around the narrative of they should have drafted Sauce. At this point, Sauce is just
it's been dead. It's been dead since last year.
Yeah,
he killed the hell out of it this year.
Yeah, he buried that sumbitch this year. Yeah. So Derek Stingley is playing lights out football. The defense as a whole is not allowing a great passer rating. We might be allowing the most passing touchdowns in the league, but we have the lowest completion percentage allowed, and we have the lowest passer rating allowed, and we're not really allowing teams to run the ball all over us. This is the defense that Wade Phillips would have loved to have had back in the Gary Kubiak era.
God. When D'Amico was playing.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, did you say something? Was that a little?
That was a little yapper. I think my wife came home.
Classic. Oh man.
But yeah, it's great to watch this defense. This is what we envisioned when we hired D'Amico Ryans. If you didn't envision this, you didn't know who D'Amico Ryans was then. You just did. You only remember him as the guy that used to play for the Texans, apparently.
Yeah.
Because this is what he did in San Francisco.
Yeah. And, there's like the guys on this AFC South show were saying that the hit that Kalen Bullock levied on DeBow is a reflection of the kind of system that D'Amico Ryans is running on defense, that he's encouraging players to actively hurt other players and play dirty.
It wasn't a dirty hit. It's football. I can't get to the ball as a defender, so I should dislodge you from the ball. If I can't get it, you can't get it. That's how football's played. To be completely honest, they gave him a penalty on that one. But if you go back and watch the game, the hit by Jimmy Ward was much worse.
Yeah. Hell, Jimmy Ward's hit our own players much worse. Like, nah. Like, I'm not buying the whole D'Amico Ryans has got a bounty or he's bringing back Bounty Gate. I'm not buying that. D'Amico is not that kind of dude.
If he is hiding it so well behind that smile and that milk dud head. Yeah. He is hiding the hell out of
it. Milk dud head. Yeah, that would be the largest surprise, I think, of the NFL season to find out that D'Amico is behind some sort of Bounty Gate kind of deal. But look, we talked about it already. Henry T's playing good football. He got a half sack yesterday. Will Anderson's sack and Tim Settle's fumble recovery, setting up the offense in the red zone and capitalizing. The Dare Gumbawale 35-yard fake punt run was incredible. So let me ask, we've got a really good defense coming, or that we're going to go play next week in Kansas City. Are we going to have to rely on the defense and special teams to win that game too? And the offense just to be efficient, not even like world beating? Because right now, and somebody brought this up to me, there's a lot of similarities between the way that CJ Stroud is playing currently and Trent Dilfer.
Oh, went back there. I can see that.
Yeah. I don't want that to be the case, obviously, but
let me ask you a question. If CJ does this 130, 150 yards per game for the rest of the season and through the playoffs, but we make it to the Super Bowl, who's upset?
Not one Houstonian.
not a damn one.
Not a damn one. Everybody's going to be like, hell yeah, we're in the Super Bowl. Suck it, everyone else.
And CJ's part of the reason.
Yeah. He just needs to play clean. And if the defense, if this is what the defense is, if this is how we're going to play, Christian Harris coming back and not even looking like he's missing a step, then fuck, we're in a good spot here. I'm not even going to be worried about Derrick Henry when we play them in 2 weeks on Christmas Day, because Christian Harris is that guy's number. That's who they put on Derrick Henry the last time that we played a Derrick Henry team, and Derrick Henry set an NFL record for the most touches and the least amount of yards. 20 for 10.
And the thing is, how he did that was he literally – Christian Harris is so fast that he hits him before he gets up to steam.
Yeah.
You catch him at the line of scrimmage. You catch him in the backfield before he picks up speed. Because once that left tackle picks up speed, he's a problem. Yeah. He's a goddamn left tackle playing running back.
It's true. It's true. I mean, and it didn't seem to bother Christian Harris at all. There were times you put him in the backfield. Now, obviously, the Titans last year had a much worse offensive line than the Ravens do, but I still think we got that. And how big would it be, in your opinion, if we end up beating the Chiefs, we beat the Ravens, and beat the Titans? Where all of a sudden we're 12-5, and we're probably ahead of the Ravens and the AFC North winner at that point.
Yeah, because the Steelers and the Ravens are going to beat the hell out of each other to finish. They're going to.
Yup.
The thing is, you remember I said for us to change the narrative of what everybody is saying about Houston, and it's starting to change a little bit now. Yeah. But to fully change it to where people are like, okay, they are who we thought they were at the beginning of this year. We gotta run the table. And if running the table, that means we can't be resting players. We really can't do that.
No. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a matchup with the 7 seed again, or because it's probably going to be either the Chargers or the Broncos.
And neither one of those teams put any fear in my heart.
Exactly. Neither the Chargers offense is okay.
Meh.
Yeah, and then the Chargers defense they're basically in the same situation we're in, except for they don't have one marquee name receiver.
Yeah. Nope. No.
We got Nico and we got Tank Dell. Now, I want to get your opinion on this because I heard Landry Locker over on his podcast talking about it in the locker room. He believes that at this point, Tank Dell should be a full-time punt returner. Just alone, how do you feel about that before I continue?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't want to. I don't like seeing Robert Woods back there. My son literally was sitting next to me. He said, "Dad, is Robert Woods fast?" I said, "No. he's just gonna catch the ball. That's the only reason he's back there." But Tank can catch the ball, and I could have sworn he was making quite a few people miss in very small areas. Go to your bed. He made people miss in a small area a lot.
Hold on, you keep going.
All right, but like I said, Tank Dell is known for being that guy that returns these type of kicks. Like I said, ever since U of H, he's exciting when the ball's in his hands. Whenever we can get the ball into his hands more often, it's good for the team. It's good for everybody. It's good for Tank. Tank gets a good rhythm. Because right now, this is Nico's team when it comes to receiving. Nico is our number one receiver, but Tank is exciting when the ball touches his hands.
Sorry.
He just is.
He is. He is when we can get him there. And the rest of Landry Locker's comment was that at this point, Tank Dell is a wide receiver 4 upside.
Oh, shit. I can't agree with that. I can't agree with that.
Well, he doesn't think that Tank Dell has what it takes to create separation as a wide receiver 2, maybe as a 3, but he's not a wide receiver 2, possibly a 3, definitely a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess that makes that article I read a little bit earlier today by Stephon Diggs. Said he wakes up every morning smiling to be happy to be in Houston, even after the injury.
Damn. I wouldn't be upset if he came back. It's just how long until he's back, you know?
And at what price?
Yeah.
That's my thing. Yeah. At what price?
I'm not paying him $20 million to be 32 and coming off an ACL.
Nope.
No. But that does, I think, necessitate, maybe we pick, in the late 20s, whatever, we get a wide receiver in the first round. I'm not going to be upset, just to kind of compliment Nico and Tank and whatever.
I will be upset if a guard is on the table, because in the 20 range, you can get. It is possible to get the best guard in the draft.
I will say that this draft is flush with tackles who are going to be guards and guards who are pretty good.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to draft probably, we might be able to pick up another Blake Fisher type. Might be able to pick up another Kenyon Green type, and not in so much Kenyon Green's play style and ability, but more
just
so
the build,
versatility. Yeah,
the pedigree.
I mean, Kenyon Green's played when he was at Texas A&M. He played all 4 positions, so I mean, he's got flexibility. And if those who didn't notice on the injury report, he was listed as an offensive tackle. Now that could have been an error, but there was Nick Broker who was on the list as a guard. So somebody clearly acknowledges the difference between guard and tackle. So to me, it seems a little bit more intentional. And it's something to keep an eye on going forward. Maybe they put him there just in case Blake Fisher got hurt. But regardless.
Wouldn't it be awesome if we played Kenyon at the tackle and he wasn't trash?
Wouldn't it be weird? That'd be weird as hell. Oh, man.
Like I said, the only reason why I think about that, you remember Xavier Su'a-Filo?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He went to the Cowboys, and the Cowboys played him a little bit at center.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Due to injury.
And it worked.
Yeah.
He didn't, because I was surprised when I saw him on the field. I'm like, bro, how is he still in the league?
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And he did that for like 3-4 games, and they kept him there. I was like,
okay.
Well,
somebody
maybe we were playing him wrong.
That's very possible.
Maybe Kenyon Green's a right guard. Shaq Mason.
Yeah. I think Shaq's gone after this year.
God, he has to be.
I can't imagine that they keep him around. I know that he's under contract again. I believe he got 1 year after this, but I think they move from him. I could also see him, getting traded for a 7th, 6th round draft pick. So,
again? Isn't that what we got him for?
Yeah.
Ship his ass out.
Yeah. I mean, why not? But with that being said, let's ask this question, okay? How many Texans teams have you felt this unsure about going into the playoffs?
And they were actually a playoff team?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 or 3.
I could say for sure that year that the Colts beat us 21-7.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty skeptical about that one because the Colts were really hot. And our defense was non-existent and the offensive line was terrible. But I don't think we've gone into a playoff scenario where our defense is the prime driving force of the team. We've always usually had
We've been an offense-driven team.
Yeah. And
You
even in
remember that playoffs?
good defense.
Playoffs a couple years ago against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
At home, we played the Chiefs in Houston.
Yeah. Alex Smithler's still their quarterback.
Yep. Even then, I was trying to think, was it Fitzpatrick? Was he the quarterback?
Yeah, I think so. It was either Fitzpatrick or Mallet.
No, it wasn't Mallet. It might have been Hoyer. It was either Hoyer or Fitzpatrick. Because Mallet was never good for us.
No, he had some good games for the Ravens, but not for us.
Yeah. So it was one of those two. Going into that game, I was like,
yeah. But right now, I'm so concerned about the offense and not so concerned about the defense. I feel
never would have thought that was going to be this year.
No.
I never would have thought that was.
No. I thought there were more holes on the defense than there were the offense. And technically there are. The defensive line is, in theory, more suspect than the offensive line because this is only going to be a one-year patch job.
If we're looking at the entire offensive line, we have 4 first-round picks on the offensive line.
Titus, Laramie. Are you counting Laramie as 2? Because we traded.
No, I'm counting him as 1, but
Kenyon, that's 3.
Kenyon, 3.
Shaq wasn't a first round pick.
Shaq wasn't. Second round. I'm sorry. So yeah, we've either way we've used a lot of capital on our offensive line.
Yeah,
because 2 second round picks.
It still would be 4 technically because we spent 2 first round picks to get Titus, or not Titus. Tunsil.
Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah.
But with our defensive line, you go look on the other side. Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson's it.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some interior dudes, but they're older, and 2 of them are on 1-year deals.
And 2 of them were ends before they came to us.
Yeah.
Mario Edwards was a defensive end.
Yeah. Danico
Autry was a defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
And Foley was a cast off from Jacksonville. Jacksonville released him.
Yeah.
Tim Settle. If anybody tell me they knew who the hell Tim Settle was before he came to play for the Texans, they're probably a liar.
Yeah.
Only reason I sort of knew his name was because he played next to Ed Oliver, who was a Cougar that went to Buffalo.
Yeah. I knew him because I play a lot of Madden, and he's usually a free agent pretty quickly. I always end up seeing his name. But no, there's, and then the secondary, you got Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley. Behind that, nothing. And then you've got in the secondary or in the safety rooms, Kalen Bullock, who we weren't sure was going to be, super great, and then turns out to be, leading the league or tied for the league lead in interceptions right now. Jalen Petrie was playing phenomenal, and Jimmy Ward, who's been so in and out of the lineup, it's like watching Big Show turn heel. It just happens every week. Realistically,
this is a total surprise. Kalen Bullock out of college, they said he was too skinny and he couldn't tackle. Ask Grant DeBose, can he tackle? I just asked him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I know it ain't too soon because I know he left the hospital, so he's good. He's fine, but he can tackle.
Yeah.
He can cup. He can make up ground in a hurry. Because the interception he got, he should have gotten it 5 plays before that.
Yeah.
He had an interception bounce off his hands.
It's true. And when we were in the middle of the draft, second round rolls around, they drafted Kamari Lassiter, and I thought they were going to draft another Georgia Bulldog, the safety Holland, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up going to the Packers, and
And
we
he's
were
doing
right
fine
after
for
them.
them.
Yeah, we went right after them, and I think that he was going to be the pick there in the second round, and then we would have taken Blake Fisher in the third round with that pick. But because Holland went, we went ahead and took Fisher and traded back up into the third round earlier to get Kalen Bullock. Yeah.
You know, looking at our draft and our free agent signings and trades, I have to ask, why is Nick Casario not going to get any mentions for Executive of the Year?
It's a good question. I think it's just because he is probably the press conferences as of late. Honestly, he's come out guns blazing against the NFL and some of their decision making.
And I
Rightly,
sort of like that. He didn't say the politically correct thing. He said how he felt.
yeah, and that's always going to be a plus in my book anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But look, this was an ugly game, 20-12. I didn't really feel like the Dolphins were actually in this game at any point. I mean, at one point it was 20-6, and the Dolphins had done nothing to that point. It was a 40-yard field goal and a 50-yard field goal to get them their 6 points, and then they missed the 2-point conversion when they scored their touchdown with Jonnu. They missed that 2-point conversion. I was like, I think this is game. I think they're done here. And lo and behold,
Stingley called game force.
he did. You know, his fourth quarter presence last week, we need that definitely down the stretch here as we're playing Mahomes and presumably Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. But
did y'all hear? I can see. Did y'all hear what he said after that last interception?
No, what do you say?
He told Tyreek, "This is what I do," and I was like, "Wow!" And you know he's soft spoken. We don't really hear him talk a lot. We don't hear him say anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Sting is him. And the healthiness of what he's been this year caught me completely off guard. Every part of me thought Stingley's going to miss 2 to 3 games, but he's still going to be good. But he's going to miss 2 to 3 games.
Yeah.
I don't think that man's missed a snap.
Yeah. I mean, this is the healthiest he's been in years, going back to college.
Freshman year.
Yeah. And what was his freshman year? Amazing. So
yes, it was.
We need that to continue. You know, knocking on some wood here that stays the thing. But this defense is going to have to carry us, as the offense is just going to hopefully just be efficient and help us lock down teams. You know,
I want to see a breakout. I want to see a breakout one of these games left in the season. I don't even care who it's against.
Yeah.
I would love if it was against Kansas City or Baltimore, but we have not seen a breakout all year long.
No. And at this point, you know, it doesn't feel like it's going to happen at all.
Mm-mm.
No. It's more likely to me that the defense breaks out and has a 2-touchdown game and maybe a blocked field goal. Something like that. By the way, Frank Ross needs a raise, in my opinion.
Oh, hell. Don't let him go anywhere.
Never. Frank Ross needs to be the successor in the event that D'Amico Ryans retires. Like, I'm okay with that.
Let me ask you: Is the struggles that our offense is going through? Is it Bobby Slowick or is it personnel?
Offensive line personnel, I'm going to say it has a lot to do with the actual plays being called for, you know, kind of limiting reasons. And then I'm going to say Bobby has not been very creative. And again, maybe he's hogtied with the offensive line problems, but I think the lack of creativity and the offensive line has been a huge problem. And I think both of those things account for probably 80% of what's wrong with the offense. The other 20% is CJ making a bad play or, whatever. Receiver dropping a ball, something like that.
Okay.
About you?
I don't know, man. I really want to give Bobby a benefit of the doubt because I want to be happy go lucky. Like I want to be like D'Amico, just be able to smile and complimenting guys all the time. But is CJ's regression on CJ or is it on Bobby? Because there is definitely regression now.
Yeah.
But based on the numbers he's still putting it up, we can't really call this a sophomore slump. He's still in like the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I think he's got like 3,300 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 9 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not.
It's a regression, but
yeah. He had 23 touchdowns last year. If he maintains the pace that he started last week of 2 a game, he'll match that production in touchdowns. And he'll have thrown 4 more interceptions than he did last season. I don't want that to necessarily happen because I would like to see him throw the ball better. Like we're probably more than 2 passing touchdowns to beat the Ravens, if I'm being honest.
Unless that Joe Mixon just goes off. And I think that's part of the reason why the touchdowns are as low as they are is because Joe Mixon is good.
Yeah.
We had no running game last year. Whatever you think about Devin Singletary or not, we didn't have one.
Yeah.
Now you have Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon, is he 11 or 12 touchdowns this year?
I think 12.
So which means that's like 8 more than what we got from our running game last year.
Yeah.
The entire running game from all of the guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of,
and Dare has a few.
Yeah. Dare's got that receiving touchdown. He didn't have a rushing touchdown this year.
Okay.
Yeah. But if I'm putting a label on this, I wouldn't call it a slump. I would call it more of a reflection of how piss poor Bobby Slowick has adjusted to things, because I had to know that they were going to adjust anyway. It just the lack of adjusting and counter adjusting at all has been mind blowing. How he got far without ever having to develop a counter adjustment is beyond me.
Wow. He's a boxer with no defense.
Yeah.
How did you get this far? I just kept knocking dudes out. That's what it was. I just kept knocking them out.
Yeah.
Like, let me ask you a question. If I know it's not going to happen just because, but if the 49ers fired their head coach, how fast would you fire Bobby?
Pretty fast. Definitely hiring Kyle Shanahan to come be the OC for sure.
Oh, hell yes. Come home, Kyle. Come home.
Yeah. Hell, I wouldn't mind hiring Papa Shanahan if he's still kicking.
He is. He works for the 49ers, if I'm not mistaken. He's like upstairs.
Yeah.
But
Papa.
But I actually think Bobby's probably going to be back next year.
I can't imagine that's what's going to happen. If they bring him back, it's just not going to be better. It's not.
Well, I don't think it's going to be better. One of the things is D'Amico's a nice guy. Could you imagine being fired by D'Amico Ryans?
Just smiling the whole time?
D'Amico's so damn nice, you might tell him thank you for firing you.
That's true. That's probably fucking accurate. Oh, man.
It's just one of those things to where it's like, wow. So I can't picture him firing Bobby. But now that guy upstairs, who's both of them's boss, I could see him doing.
Yeah. Well, I think that'll come down to whether or not D'Amico, like if D'Amico throws a fit because Caserio wants to fire him, will Caserio concede because he wants to keep his coach happy? That's
I
a,
think
go ahead.
I think it'd be a tough conversation, but just like the offensive line coach, there's going to be a mutual agreement. He's being fired. I don't think there's anything he can save his job. There's nothing he can do.
Unless we go on a Super Bowl run and CJ Stroud does not get touched, I can't imagine the O-line coach and some of the
I take that back. I take that back. If he turns Titus Howard into a not an all-pro level, but a upper echelon level left guard, he might be able to keep his job.
Yeah. Not just Titus, that would be Jarrett Patterson doing well at center.
Which he is. He actually is.
And then Shaq Mason rewinding the clock, not aging as quickly.
And what he might be able to do if he can turn some of these, if he can turn this Titus Tunsil left side of the offensive line to the strength of the offensive line, the left side, he might be able to say, hey, man, they were so bad because of bad personnel.
Yeah.
Nick, you want to fire me, but this is actually your fault.
Damn. Yeah. Oof. Well, look, I think we've covered a lot of stuff this evening. I think we've got a lot more to talk about with this game coming up on Saturday. So I think we'll kind of wrap it here. But do you have any closing comments?
Now, closing comments is like, hey, Texans fans, be happy. We won a division. We're still winning games. Mm-hmm. This team is not the Cleveland Browns. We're not even the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers make me nervous. I'm like, wow. Will they win or will they lose? You know that if nothing else, your defense is going to come out to play because we hired a good defensive coordinator to be our head coach. No. We'll be in every game. That Minnesota thing is Minnesota's the only game we got blown out this entire year.
Yeah.
Every other game we've been in, every last one. Be happy. Yeah. Especially if you've been a Texans fan for the last 10 years. Be extremely happy.
Yeah. We've had some down years lately, and the last couple have been looking up, hoping that the trajectory keeps going on. But
yes, sir.
Mike, I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening to come on and Texans ball with me. Folks, I want to thank you for yawns. I want to thank y'all for coming on and watching us talk about Texans ball. Let us know in the comments section where we got something right and where we got something wrong. Make sure you go follow and subscribe to Mike's projects at Mass3 Productions across the social medias. Do the same thing for Chris, who could not be here this evening. That's Crazy Podcast and Talk. He's all over the social medias. Try to our channel. We're at 249. Like to see that hit 250, hell 260, and eventually 300 as the season goes on into the playoffs. So help us along the way. Like and subscribe. Y'all be good people and go Texans.
Go Texans.